Climate scientists say net zero by 2050 is too late. Their predictions about the rate of the global temperature increase have been too conservative, and stronger and more decisive action is needed to reduce dangerous greenhouse gas emissions.
Here's a summary of the article.
Climate scientists now believe their predictions about the rate of the global temperature increase have been too conservative, and stronger and more decisive action is needed to reduce dangerous greenhouse gas emissions. The Climate Reality Check 2020 by David Spratt, Ian Dunlop and Luke Taylor of the National Center for Climate Restoration argue that an emergency response would make climate the #1 priority of politics and economics. Independent MP for Warringah Zali Steggall's bill for climate action by 2050 fits into the latter category. As climate campaigner David Spratt tweeted on November 8, for Australia, zero-climate emissions by 2050 has no basis in the science and is in complete disregard of any notion of climate justice. Climate scientists argue that net zero emissions by 2050 is too late to avoid catastrophic climate change, and especially for the countries of the South. Steggall's bill is largely about the creation of a new climate change commission, which would set shorter-term targets and report on Australia's emissions and preparedness for climate change. O'Neill said, "The reality of climate change means we must act now to avoid it, and that workers affected by the changes necessary to meet the 2050 targets need a just transition."
This post received a score of 18,000, with an upvote ratio of 93%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
This is the one that's gonna get us. It's been far too politicized and it's happening just slow enough that people don't believe it until it's too late, which it probably already is.
Then there's the people who simply don't realize, even though they get very obvious reminders. November in Denmark when I was a child usually meant snow, often covering everything like a winter wonderland. Now, we might get a thin layer of snow between December to February, but nothing like 20 years ago. If that doesn't scream out global warming, I don't know what else would.
Dude, I'm from Hamburg, northern Germany. All my life as a child we had London-like weather, as in rainy with a lot of wind, summers were chilly, winters were freezing. Now our weather is like previous summer 2/3 of the year. Snow is rare, and if it happens it's like really thin and or short, and when we have summer we have like 30+°C all the time for months. You want me to drive home the point? When I was young we had a law regarding schools that said if it's 30 degrees Celsius outside, school stops for the day because it's too hot. This law was removed because if it was in place, school would be outer.
Bray, y'all's school got cancelled for 86° Fahrenheit weather? What in the flying tumbleweed fuck? I was doing 2-a-day high school football practice in Texas summer.
Germany has no AC anywhere, especially schools. So 30 degrees Celsius outside means it's an easy 35 to 40 degrees Celsius inside. Also it was super rare back then. I think I only got 2 days free in like 8 years of school before the law got revoked.
Here in Australia we hit 47 Celsius where I live last year. That's hot cunts. Too hot.
Oath mate.
Edit, dedicated to you, ITSVIC Daslik, clarification on what I mean by we're fucked. Implementation of the conditional NDCs would reduce these estimates by 0.2 degrees Celsius in 2100. These projections are similar to the 2017 estimates. Here is the long version of what's in store. And that's in 2100.
Greater than we're fucked. Always have been.
Pretty much. Our entire civilization is based on the concentrated energy retained within fossil fuels, from the plastics used in our goods to the globalization of production chains. Combined with capitalism's incessant demand that growth trumps all else, it's like trying to stop an out-of-control train by throwing twigs under the wheels.
Oh, climate change will stop us all right. When there are only about 1 billion people left all huddled together in the northern regions of the planet which are still hospitable, maybe then we'll think about changing our ways. But we'll probably just bomb the shit out of each other as usual.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.